Next in line, we have a 1929 McCormick Deere, 2236. Comes out of Newburgh, Oregon. Davis and who's now? Davis and Buchan of Newburgh, Oregon. When I talk about 2236 or any split horsepower there, many, many years ago when they classified these tractors, they put 2 horsepower ratings on them. The first horsepower was drawbar. That was the horsepower on the drawbar. The second horsepower was the horsepower rating on the power takeoff. You lost a little bit of horsepower going through the gearing and the transmission. We have a 1936 Model 30 Caterpillar tractor owned by Albert and Loretta Spiegel. You'll be seeing a lot of different models of Caterpillar, also their predecessors out here. Engine. Now the reason they call them steam traction engines is the major part of this tractor out here is a boiler. Water is actually put in the boiler. It is heated, makes steam. Steam is routed through the steam engine and through gearing coming off the steam engine goes through the rear wheels. Therefore, it is able to propel itself across the ground. These tractors were used mostly for belt work. And immediately following the parade today, we're going to be having, I believe, one steamer on a thresh machine out there. What these tractors are made for. I love that sound. Right behind the Alden Taylor, we have a 1929 International Harvester truck. It's stored by Roger Hoffman. This is owned by Vern and Levada Davis of Haviland, Kansas, I believe. Next line, we have a case. How about that? We have a Model BC, 1940 model case, bought new and used on the Lee Ingle Farm in Malina, Oregon. This is also restored by the Ingle family. Very nice job of restoration. 1930 McCormick Deere, owned by Julian Hutchinson. We have a road dropper here. Now it's Chalmers road dropper. This touch is showing you just how quick you can turn on that back wheel. 1937 model road dropper. 1726 horsepower on this one here. Owned by the Rickleall Farm Equipment Company, or Farm Supply Company. Operated today by Dennis Hitt. We have in line now something a little bit different. This is the chassis bodywork of a F-20 McCormick Deere farmall, but we have just a little bit different. Oh, what have we got now? I tell you. This is John Williamson and his lovely daughter. John's the one wearing all the feathers in his hat. We have a 1914 Russell steam traction engine. We cannot stop this. This is a very, very powerful machine. This is a 90 horse model. And believe me, they made them to last. These are not very, very fast, very maneuverable, but don't let that fool you. These pack a lot of power. Now into our cars. This is a 1983 reproduction of a 1935 Auburn. I'd love to have this car. It's a beautiful car. About what year is this fire truck? You don't remember?
Pulling wheelies.
Okay. This is an Aaron Fox fire engine. This is a front pumper. You can tell because the pump is located on the front, in front of the engine itself. Looks like it just came out of the showroom floor. Very, very beautiful piece of restoration. Now, what do we got here? No way do I believe this is the official Indy 500 base car. I believe that belongs to the Folio family. I don't know. I think Al's driving that darn thing. When was the last time you had those leaky kits in your radiator there, Al? You ought to take that darn thing up to the alignment shop. I think you got a little bit of a problem there. Next time we have a 1947, I believe. McCormick Deering Farm OA. Right behind that is one of our people movers. You probably came into town or came into the show today riding one of these and probably been running one of these around the field out here. This is a very beautiful piece of restoration here on this 1920 Doan lowboy truck. This is restored by the Folios, Firing and Iron Collection out of Milwaukee, Oregon. This was actually used down on the docks to haul freight. Jerry Ducat is behind the wheel, operating it, Jerry and his wife. While the caretakers out here at Antique Powerland, they stay out here when we're not having fun. This little truck here is a 1959 Oshkosh snowplow. Nothing stops this one. I believe this particular model gets 3 miles to the gallon. It's got a very, very powerful engine in there. The 6-cylinder engine. This was restored this year. It just came out of the paint shop and came down to the show here. Next in line we have a 1918 Avery 1225. Owned and restored by Jack Chapman of Yakima, Washington. This is a I love this tractor. Jack his stick, shrug his shoulders. Very unique tractor. When he goes to shift gears, he only has 2 gears in this, forward and reverse. When he goes to change gears, he has to stop his tractor, but he has to pull his engine back and forth to change gears. That's what changes his gears. Next in line, we have a 1944 Oliver 70, 6-foot building in time to go to the threshing in the West Field immediately following the parade. Oh, geez. I thought I got rid of you last weekend. Where's your Desperados at? Tomorrow. Oh, boy. We got a 1942 9N Ford tractor. A lot of people have seen. What? We have 3 kings today. Does that beat 4 aces? Next in line, we have a Buffalo Pit steam traction engine.
What?
You will see this particular tractor used on the flour mill. I've been plucking the flour mill quite a bit. You'll also see this particular tractor, I believe, on the tractor pull this afternoon. So you'll be able to see what these small tractors can do. Paul and John Holm are the engineers and the firemen on this particular piece. The Bellick family is the proud owner of this John Deere Ace. I believe it's about a 41 or a 40 model. 41 model, I was correct the first time. Behind him is a Railway Express wagon from the old days. A Rumely 6, owned by Davis and Buchanan. These are fantastic tractors. This was the first gas tractor that the Rumely company actually put out. As I said before, you'll probably see a lot of John Deere's out here. We love John Deere tractors. You couldn't tell by the hat I was wearing. We have here a 1929 Model D John Deere, owned by Scotty Johnson of Portland, Oregon. Is this your Scotty? You're actually driving this? Are you driving this one here today? Okay, just wanted to make sure. Once in a while we get an individual or two from out of state. We love to see them come in. But once in a while he brings a fantastic piece with us. We have a fellow by the name of Howard Keating of Rescue, California. He's a member of the Branch 13 Early Day Gas Station and Tractor Association. He is operating today a 1/3 scale replica of a 1921 3040 Rumely oil pull. As I say, we'd like to see these gentlemen out here. Bruce Blackburn's little cart is out here, going to town. Who do we have driving us today? Bill Custom? Who's the co-pilot? Mary? Where's my beer? I know it's too hot to be standing out here. When you find out, let me know, okay? We have a very nice example of a 1940 Farmall 8. 28.7 horsepower, owned by Earl Idle of Sherwood, Oregon. Idle? I've been pronouncing it wrong for the last 2 years. Earl is operating this today. I'll take out of all the pieces out here, John Deere included, I would say that the steam traction engine happened to be my favorite. We'll give you a little size, an idea of size and weight here. This is a 1915 Russell steam traction engine, 20 horsepower here, built by Russell and Company of Ohio. Now, this particular model weighs 22,000 pounds. Has 22 horsepower on the drop bar and 60 horsepower on the flywheel. We have another little John Deere here. Beautiful model of a 1927 Model D owned by Albert and Loretta Siegel. Siegel family is very large in the John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer. Next in line, another little John Deere. John Deere G. That is G. 1947 model. This is a style model. The owners are John Hickman and Father Carlton, and Father of Carlton, Oregon. Once in a while in the cold Oregon winter night, a lot of guys want to figure out what to do with their spare time. Well, this is a good idea of what happens in their spare time. You see the Putzmobile. And the Morgeridge family, Norval and Alice, own and operate this particular piece. This is a John Deere stationary engine which he mounted on this little homemade chassis. It is a hit and miss. That means that each time you see it fire, this little plug bounces up and down. This engine was designed to do this. He didn't have anything to do with the timing on this. These engines were actually designed to do this. Morgeridge, that's it. Well, he just got through saying at the end that the engine is younger than he is. He's 80 years of age, and the engine is younger than that. That's great. Here another little 1941 over 70. This is a 6-cylinder model. 201.3 cubic inches, owned by Earl Idle of Sherwood, Oregon. I finally got it right. How about that? Clarence Idle is operating this particular piece right now. I also love these tractors here too. A 1224 horsepower, 1929 model. It was restored by the operator right now, Percy Chisodal. Give me a little look back here. I would like to plug his little display of 1920 farming down here. Does a fantastic job. Next in line, we have a 1947 Harley-Davidson service car. This is 45 cubic inches with a flat head on it. Now he bought this in 1962 for $200. He uses this primarily every single day. It is now worth $10,000. These are the only motorcycles equipped with a reverse gear because who in the heck wants to push these darn things backwards? They have lots of different uses to these. From telegrams, special delivery parts, you name it, they use them on these. Those are nice little motorcycles. I wish I had one. Matter of fact, he rode it down here today from Gresham, Oregon. Next we have a 1912 Advanced Rumely steam traction engine. During its heyday, men worked in the harvest for $1 a day. And this day lasts for 10 to 12 hours a day. And at that time, you were lucky to have a job. The pay has changed quite a bit, but now you're still lucky to have a job. This is about a 1925 four-wheel drive truck, I believe, from the Drive Auto Company of Bentonville, Wisconsin. The truck was built for utility companies to install pole, telephone, and utility line, and many used in the Philippine Islands. We hope to have this completely restored by next year. We have a 1936 Model AO John Deere, owned by Dale Powell of Salem, Oregon. I believe this to be an orchard model. The reason we say orchard is the fact that the seed is sprung a little bit lower than usual, so the branches up from the trees won't knock the farmer back down into the dirt. We have a 1939 Cape Model C, 1827 horsepower, manufactured by the J.I. Case Company. Now this is owned by Dick Van Dyke. He is not the Dick Van Dyke, but his name is Dick Van Dyke. This has been in the family ever since it was purchased brand spanking new. The characteristic about these cases was the fact that it had a very tight turning radius. He is not using any steering brakes out there. That is the actual steering radius on these tractors. Oh boy. Ralph Shepard is operating a 1940 Model B John Deere, owned by the Spiegel. Spiegels love John Deere tractors. Ain't no getting around it. Oh, Ruth, you brought it back. Bless your heart. Ruth Blackburn is operating a homemade cart. The motor on this cart is an old Maytag wash machine 2-cycle engine. Maytag company, before they came out with the electric motors, actually had 2-cycle engines for their wash machines. Now, she says that she can put her close to 6-cycle at 20 miles an hour on this particular piece. She always comes up with something different each year. Next in line, we have a very fine example of a 50 horsepower Case steam traction engine owned by Harvey Michelson. Mr. Michelson was the person that got this whole situation started. The steam up started out on his farm in Silverton, Oregon. Thank you. Many, many years ago. We moved it out here. We've been going strong ever since. We just think individuals like him for getting us started and getting us going the way we are today. Next in line we have a Minneapolis. This is owned by the Spiegel. They got away from John Deere. How about that? The particular piece about this particular tractor is this is a cross-mounted tractor, meaning that the engine is mounted across the chassis instead of in line. Okay, Albert and Loretta Spiegel are operating in Minneapolis today. Corbin made a few industrial tractors. This is a very fine example of a W12 Corbin 1937 model, restored by Carl Drapeau of Springfield, Oregon. Production model of a Rumely gas tractor. Avenel Lee is operating at Rumely 6 today. We have another cross-mount model here. This is a 1922 cross-mount Cape. And as you can see, that engine is actually cross-mounted in the chassis. This was a very popular tractor. The Case line of cross-mount tractors is very, very popular with the farmers, mainly because they got a lot more power from the power takeoff, mainly because it was mounted directly to the crankshaft of the engine. We have a 1931 Model C Case. The difference between this one and the last one you saw is this is a little bit older, also mounted on steel wheel. And as you can see, they have lugs in the back for a while traction. Roger Leak is operating this particular case model today. And as you can see, this is what they call, this is a 1914 Altman Taylor steam traction engine. 2060 horsepower, owned by Henry Lee Bakken. He is on the back of this fine piece today. He waved at us. He comes out of Lincoln City, Oregon. He came all the way over here from Lincoln City to be here at the show today. Now I see we have another little long flex stretch tractor. Can you believe that these were actually truck tractors? Behind him is a one-horse grain drill. Both of these were restored by the Ulster family. We have a 40s model, I believe it's in the 40s, probably late 40s. Model 8 John Deere. The gentleman with the camera around his neck over here used to own this little John Deere tractor over here. How about that? We have another little orchard model, John Deere. This is owned and operated today by Matt Bellick. As I said, we'd like to get the young people involved with this hobby out here. We have a Model C 1941 model, Alice Chalmers. Kenny Knowles is operating this today. And as you can see, his kidneys are really taking a punishment right now. We have a small John Deere. 1946 John Deere Model LA. And of course, this is owned by the Spiegel family. They cornered the market on John Deere's around here. We have another little steam traction engine coming up there. This is the Advanced Company's model. Can't quite tell you what horsepower rating it is, but it is a fine piece. 16 horsepower model. Behind this you'll see a water wagon. Farmers actually used to carry extra water out there with them. They had to out to the field along with their spare fuel. Well, a lot of people couldn't figure out what the heck these darn things are. Well, take note, there will be a quiz following. This is a 1913 Holt 60 or a 65 model, excuse me. This is the granddaddy of the large Caterpillar tractors you see out there on the farming and construction sites. This will be in the tractor pull today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get out here and see what Grandpa Holt can do. The best the whole company got together to make Caterpillar tractors. Well, behind me is the 1930 Model B Howard Chalmers. And then behind me is the Howard Chalmers is a binder. This is what we use to bind the wheat around here. That's a 37 model. That's called corn binder. Hughes A. Walk here. Corn binder. Johnny A. binder. This is a Rumely oil pole. The reason they call them Rumely oil pole or oil pole is the fact instead of water for cooling your engine, they use oil. This is owned by George Best. We believe this one came out of the Kansas area. Kansas or Montana, something like this. Look at this John Deere. This is owned by the Orange family. This is 1940 Model T John Deere. See how funny that thing is? This will be in the fold this afternoon. This is another fine example of a Model D John Deere. By a 1945 model, operated today by Matt Bellick. Am I pronounced Bellick? Bellick. What? I got it right now, right? It looked French to me. Oh well. We have a 1942 LA case owned by the Harold Pruitt family of Fulton, Oregon. We have the owner and operator, or the owner is taking it easy this week. Last week he was playing too hard, hurt himself. He says this is actually what happens to a person when they actually fall off the wagon. My son, Danny Stewart, and his uncle, Lloyd Legalsi, is operating a 1225 Carrot. I believe it'll be about a 1914 model. As you see, we like to get the young people involved. What better way to get them involved? Put your hands on it. Let them fool around with it a little bit under supervision to let them learn what farm life is like. Larry Leak is operating a 1927 model. Randy Leak, excuse me, Larry's right here beside me. Randy Leak is operating a 1927 model T pickup truck. We believe this model to be about a 1920. This is a Huber. We pronounce it Huber. If somebody has a different idea of how it's pronounced, please come up and tell us. You'll see that this is a return flue model. The other steam traction engine you saw, the smokestack was sitting up front. This one is sitting in the back. The smoke goes through the front of the boiler, circles around, and comes back, and it goes out the smokestack in the back. It was great during the winter for the engineer and firemen, but lousy during the summer. Oh yeah, it's more fenders down the neck, you betcha. As you can see, we have a pretty young fireman up there, or engineer. We have a passenger on there. We hope one of these days will be behind the throttle with one of our steam engines out here. A 1918 Titan International Company put this one out. 2 cylinders, 10 and 20 horsepower each. 10 on the drawbar, 20 on the flywheel, owned by Chuck and Lois and Cade of Salem, Oregon. Behind them is a John Deere plow. An international pulling a John Deere. Ben German, could you cover the office, please? We have a little Bull tractor, 1913 model, one-wheel drive. A one-wheel drive tractor, can you believe it? The drive wheel on this particular model was supposed to go down into the furrow that you have previously plowed. The tractor was supposed to remain perfectly level. Smoking its way down the course to the 1910 510 Avery. This is the smallest tractor the Avery company put out. Now, this particular model, it has clutches for final drive. There's no chain, no drive line, just friction clutches. How many of you folks out there remember Jack Dunny would be in his heyday out here right now? Little kids and their toys. Yeah. We have a 1920 Fighter tractor right here. This is also a friction drive. Part of the Leak family is operating this one out here. I don't know if I want to claim the guy operating this or not. He's sticking his tongue out at me. This particular tractor, was sold brand new to the Lions Wade Company in the spring of 1921. We have young and we have old alike. 1905 Altman Taylor. Matter of fact, the trademark of the Altman Taylor Company back around the turn of the century was a starved rooster. The reason for this was they put out threshing machines, and they said that if a rooster could survive on the haystack off of their threshing machine, that was not one of their threshing machines, because they didn't put out any grain to the wheat stack at all. So the company was very popular for many, many years, and as you can see, with a little bit of tender loving care, these students can stay around. For walking up into the announcing tower here before lunch, and I almost choked on my sandwich. We have a 1927 Caterpillar 60, the tractor you see today. Tom Fletcher is driving this particular model. This particular tractor is co-owned. One lives in Oregon, the other lives, I believe, in Colorado or Montana. Tom Fletcher, if you please, International Harvester Tractor. It took 10 years for Tom Stewart to restore this particular piece. The first 500 came from the factory with a cab on it. This is one of 2 or 3 that we know in the United States and Canada is actually running. Behind it, he was pulling a 1925 Plymouth Marine 2238 tractor owned by Jack Chapman. Matter of fact, Mr. Chapman is on your beat with that. Oh, I love this. I've only seen pictures of this particular. This is a 1908 Stanley steamer. This car actually has a boiler on it, operates under steam. You only see these in museums or out here. Conrad and Len Fletcher from Denver, Colorado, came all the way out here to bring this famous steamer out here. We'd love to see him come in. Jack Burstake shows up again with a 30 model Caterpillar tractor. 1926 model. He's under his date. He's smiling. This is owned by Ed Gerber. This particular piece was also purchased brand new, and it's been in the Gerber family ever since. White Flag is operating this small little 1530 Rumely oil full, owned by Audi Mammoth. This is a 1914 model, I believe. Has one cylinder power. Usually Mr. Flag shows up with a tuxedo, top hat, white tie, and tails. But today he opted for his overalls. Can you imagine spending all day plowing a field for something that went to the top speed of that? How about driving it down to the Kaiser Day Parade? We have a Caterpillar 50 coming up here. About a 1922 model owned by Bill Oster. This is from the Herb Linden farm. Behind him is a Massey Harris